Chris McClune here, and welcome back to Live at FDIC. Before we start, just a reminder, this studio is brought to you by Firehouse Subs and the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Find out more about restaurant ownership at www.firehousesubfranchising.com. Well, my guest today is Robbie King, who you probably remember from last year, too. This is getting an old hat for us, Robbie, so that's great. But what we're here to talk about this year is Vector Solutions Full Suite. Robbie is the Director of Solution Engineers at Vector Solutions. And while most people are aware of the Target Solutions part of Vector Solutions, there is actually an entire suite that can manage staffing, mandatory checks, and other daily operations, and that is Agency Connect. So we're first going to talk about the full suite.
Yeah.
So with the full suite, how does Vector help agencies achieve operational readiness?
So I think that one of the nice things about Vector Solutions is we've always listened to our customers and where have they wanted us to be directed to. So we've really tallied it down to three broad areas. We have the train, prepare, and retain type of approach. So under training, this is where we're going to have Target Solutions, where you're going to be able to schedule your own content, one of our 450 hours of applicable fire and EMS training courses, and also Evaluation Plus forms. Get all those scheduled and delivered out to your people, and then track all those course completions. Get the reports that you need to submit for your monthly reports, your annual reports to validate all the great work that the training divisions are doing. We talked a little bit about Evaluations Plus, and that's our tool that handles those live skill testing, which is a critical part. And there's a mobile app that goes along with that. People have always said, well, why don't you have a mobile app for this or that? And we're very mobile friendly, but we've really focused our attention on making sure that you're able to perform all of those skills at 3 a.m. When you really count. It's great to be smart. It's really great to be knowledgeable, but at 3 o'clock in the morning,
it all goes out the window.
We're just going off muscle memory. So we want to make sure that those muscles are right in tune with what the expectations are. But so that's really the big pieces of the training side of things. When it goes to retain, we have two great products. Vector Check It that takes care of all of our apparatus inspections, controlled substances, fixed assets, and also a ticketing methodology. So in case something is broke or not there, we can get it repaired or get it replaced easily as well. Vector Scheduling takes care of our time and attendance for the agency. Another great mobile app on that one as well. But also on the retain side, I try to get long-winded, so please be ready with me here. But Guardian tracking is an important process. We see the worst of situations that we are exposed to, and it happens to us on a more frequent pace than normal society. And so we need to have a tool that can record all of our exposures, whether it's to carcinogens, to smoke from a fire, those types of things. But it does the early intervention. So if we have a milestone event, let's say you go to a vehicle accident where a pediatric was killed, you provide direct care. It's going to be a little more different from me if I was just directing command and those kind of things. So we can identify those milestone events, and then all of a sudden, if you start calling out, we can start getting notified. Because what happens tomorrow is our next shift, you're like, hey, you didn't show up. Why didn't you show up? I'm sorry, I didn't feel like coming in or whatever. But we can start seeing those trends to identify that we're still suffering from that call. And that's the important part. People are our greatest assets, and I love making sure that they're taken care of and can have a long career of being a successful people.
Speaking of having a long career, we also want to have a long retirement. And health and safety is a critical component to all this as well. What are some of the things that with these products, health and safety wise, affect us at least maybe reduce our exposures or at least track our potential exposure?
Very much. I think we want to make sure. One of the things we've done is January during National Firefighter Awareness Month, we gave away a free course. It didn't matter who wanted to take that course. We want to make sure that they had that knowledge to make sure that they're doing the right things to prevent that cancer. We also have it available for all of the rest of our clients year round, but we give it away for free. We also just added it into each client's target solution site. Under the input example, you can actually get the National Firefighter Registry, Cancer Awareness Registry, to get signed up for that. So you can assign them the assignment so they can get signed up. They're also going to be able to take care of another amazing podcast put on by the U.S. Fire Administration talking about why this is so important and why everybody in the fire service should be focused in on preventing these items. So it's just another way for us to be able to help. We've also gave in-kind cash donations in these areas as well. Cancer affects all of us, so we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to take care, help out the best we can.
Talking about Agency Connect again, how does it bridge a gap between local agencies and state authorities?
So this is another fun one. And we think about what we have to report to the state. We are the nation's leading provider of training. So it's very common for us to be able to work with state organizations. So if your state has a Vector Solutions product called ACADIS, it takes care of all of the certification processes, registration for classes, those types of things, but it also takes care of compliance. So me coming from the state of Georgia, we have 20 hours that's required to be reported to the state. Well, we now have the ability to send training records automatically if the local fire department chooses to send those course completions up to the state so they can see not only what we're training on, but also that I have met those training requirements and I'm good to be going on for another year, send that information off to the pension fund, whatever the state agency needs. But it's reducing the chance of error and duplication of efforts as well. So both of those are really neat. But the big picture item in this, and I think talking over the years with you, is we both understand how important it is for a state to pour into the local agencies. So if we see a trend in the fire service, maybe we need to develop a new course or a new program to help support the local agencies in these areas. I think it's going to be a wonderful tool that's going to have a big impact short term with taking care of duplication of efforts, but also long term of being able to let the state know that yes, we did 20 hours of training, but in all actuality, we're doing 400, 600, 700 hours of training every year, and it's in these areas as well, so they can understand better what we're dealing with on a day in and day out battle.
So before I let you go, because again, we are at FDIC and it's a busy day and I don't want to keep you here too long. Did I miss anything about any of the full suite Agency Connect? Or are there any other comments you wanted to make just about the system and its importance to everything we do?
I think one of the things that always kind of cracks me up is everybody wants to get the job. And as soon as we can possibly take a day off, the 2 days off in between wasn't enough. I need another day off. So we want to talk about how vector scheduling can help the local departments out in taking care of all their staffing and attendance needs. Vector scheduling is a web-based and a mobile app-based product. So I can literally from my phone request my time off, my shift trade, all those wonderful things that I've earned this benefit I can take. It notifies that shift supervisor or whoever you're assigning to look at those. But we're going to take care of this on my phone. And then once you give them the day off, you got to fill it. We can automatically notify people and put them in the order based off of your hiring practices. If you're able to pick the right person, they get to be notified whether it's a telephone number, a text message, an email, in-app notification, or even if a pager. If you're still old school and hanging on to a pager, you can still get notified that way as well. But it's all from the power of your phone, which I think is really important for today's fire service.
Speaking of pagers, I don't know if you saw out there. There is a display with like all the pagers you and I would have had through the years. Going up until the most recent one they just took out. And I looked at, it, I was like, man, I've had a few of them. Had a few of them. But
I
now,
saw
like
it
you
too.
said, everything's on the phone. Everything's on the
Yeah.
phone. So, Robbie, thank you very much for joining me today. Let everyone know where you are located on the show floor
Yeah.
so they can come out and find out more information.
So we'd love for you to finish up your Friday and Saturday with us at booth 2228. We're in a great location. You can come by and see us and really get a chance to learn more about what Vector Solution does. If you have one product, how it coincides and it's integrated with the rest of the products to get a chance. And if you're listening to this and you weren't able to make it to FDIC, please visit targetsolutions.com in the upper right-hand corner, request a demo. Put in there your name in for information and let us spend 30 minutes with you really defining what you're looking for and how, if we can help, how we can deliver that for you.
Perfect. Well, again, this has been live at FDIC. I want to again thank Robbie King from Vector Solutions for coming in. I'd like to thank Firehouse Subs as well. So we'll see you again. This has been Chris McClune for FDIC International 2024 live at FDIC. Have a good one and stay safe. Thanks again, Robbie.
Thank you, Chris.